Good afternoon. I am Johnny from Batara. So my report is all about total physical response or TPR. So before we start, let me give you an overview of my report. So introduction to TPR, the characteristic of TPR, application and basic principles, the advantage and disadvantage, identifying the rules, learning rules, teacher rules, introductional materials rules. So objectives. By the end of discussion, learners will be able to know the definition, background, and the author who developed the total physical response, to be able to identify different characteristic total physical response in regard to teaching process inside the classroom. So, what is total physical response or TPR? TPR is a method of teaching language or vocabulary concept by using physical movement to react to verbal input. So, the one of the example of this TPR is the Song of Health Children Smith and Tolls. So, TPR is a method developed by Dr. James G. Asser in 1997, a professor of psychology at San Jose State University of California. Asher developed TPR as a result of his experience observing the young children learning their first language. He noticed interaction between parents and children often took the form of speech from the parents followed by a physical response from the child. Asher made three hypotheses based on this observation. First, the language is learned primarily by listening. Second, that language must engage the right hemisphere of the brain. And the third, that learning language should not be involved in stress. So, the characteristic of TPR. So, the coordination of the speech. The coordination of speech and action is a coordinate when the TPR is applying. So learning rules of listening and performer. As a learners, our rule is to active listener and core performers. The learning monitor and evaluate your own progress. Progress monitoring can give information that can help yourself to learn and more learn effectively and to make better decisions. The teacher and the student are actors. It means it means it means require the person learn to achieve their act as a role model to help the student and learn to achieve their goal. So, reading and writing is taught grammar from vocabulary. Reading and writing is always connected to grammar and vocabulary because grammar provides the rules of common use, both spoken and writing language, and we can easily understand each other. Grammar taught inductively. Grammar should be taught inductively to student and interaction and participant, and also develop the critical thinking as a student. Different understand of language. Uh, Grammar taught inductively. Grammar and vocabulary selected according to the situation. How important grammar and vocabulary correct? Grammar is the key to speak English and confidently. Learning language by gesture body movement. Gesture language may refer to sign language and language that we use using by communicate to convince teacher. Can make also using the gesture to get access in the student thinking. Learning can also discover idea to form gesture to see them there. So, basic principles of TPR or total physical response. Listening ability and vocabulary must be developed first. There must be any stress in the class. Regular repetition. Action involved on the core of the TPR. TPR or total physical response is also a technique of teaching vocabulary. Advantage of TPR: fun and easy, students enjoy the activity. Simple TPR activity do not require a great deal of their preparation of the part of the teacher. TPR is exclusive and work well as a class with mixed ability level. Culture for building vocabulary. Action help build connection in the brain. Help learning achieve fluency faster by embracing learning activities that involve them in seasonal language use. Disadvantage of TPR or total physical response. Most useful for beginner. Preparation become an issue from the teacher at the higher levels. Students are not generally given the opportunity to express their own thoughts and creative manners. It is easy to overuse TPR at to begin to board students, may limit teacher in terms of scope of language that can be addressed, can be a major challenge for the shy student. Learning rules, listener and performers, emitter of the student nonverbal model, monitor and evaluate their own progress. Teachers' rules, uh, director of all student behavior, decide what to teach, serve as a model of the target language, present new material, selecting supporting material for the classroom use. Rules of instructional materials, no basic text, teacher's voice, action and gesture, picture and word chart. So that's all and thank you.